Let's get back to assholes. We got Dr. Steve on the phone.
Okay.
Oh, good. Dr. Steve, how are you, sir?
Hey, Vintner to the stars.
Hi, Steve. Yes.
Wow,
Why don't you get off the speakerphone unless you got your hand up some guy's ass?
Hang on a second. I'm going to move. I'm in a bathroom
Bank vault?
hospital. So now I'm in a patient lounge now. If somebody comes in, I'll probably have to bail on you. But
Yeah. All right. We're talking about getting fingers up the ass. What was the question for Dr. Steve?
It was actually, do some men orgasm spontaneously during one of these prostate exams, Doctor?
yeah, absolutely.
Really?
And is it sexual or is it more of just a physical thing because you touch the prostate?
Yeah, it's a physical thing. What happens is they will ejaculate, not necessarily have an orgasm. As you press on the prostate, you can actually express fluid out. And we'll do that on purpose sometimes. If we think someone's got a prostate infection, you just stick your finger in, you go up one side, down the other, and then push real hard down the middle. And then you'll express fluid out onto a slide and look at it under the microscope or
hot,
whatever you want to with it.
Or make wine out of it.
You do it to an elephant, and then all that elephant pre-cum, you fucking put a little red stuff that you got from Jim Jones's house.
Part of your job is you study jism.
Absolutely, under the microscope and smell it to see if it smells like it's infected, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
You really.
What does it taste? Like it's a bag of cocaine with Colombians in the room.
Wait a minute.
He's got to give it a little taste.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Now we know why he's a winemaker. It sounds like the same thing you do when you got a nice bottle of wine. You smell the cork a little bit.
This is cut with crazy glue.
This jizz has a lovely nose.
You squeeze the cork for moisture, and then you do the little taste test.
Yes, Dr. Steve, you did get quite a thrashing. I must thank you, though, for those cookies. Those are fantastic.
Bravo on that, my friend.
Those the same ones that Opie threw on the floor?
This guy's
one of them, but I had a nice box of them when I got home, and wow, really good. Thank you so much, Dr. Steve.
Steve, you know I play a role on the radio. I enjoyed your blue boxes of goodness.
Well, it was the best Christmas present I ever had, getting thrashed by you guys for 40 minutes.
It really just went. It did go on and on and on.
It was endless.
Casey was in her car, and she went in to do a sales call and came back out, and she said, and they were still talking about you.
Still railing you in your wine.
Didn't we have another doctor question for you?
Well, let me tell you one thing about the smelling things and tasting things. Back before we had urine dipsticks, doctors had to actually taste patients' urine to see if they had diabetes. And that's why it's called diabetes mellitus or mellitus, because the word mellitus means taste sweet. So.
What? No fucking way,
wow.
dude. How long ago? Because I understand 1800, they were weird.
Yeah,
week and a half
long ago.
18. I'm thinking like 1400s.
Nah, the 1800s, they were still doing fucked up stuff. What year?
Another kind of diabetes where people just pee out free water, and it's called diabetes insipidus, and insipid means that it just tasted insipid. So that's where those words came from.
What year were they still doing this?
Sip it. That's what that meant.
Sip it.
I'll get the exact years for you when we finally got urine dipsticks. Praise the Lord for that.
No kidding.
Yeah. Jesus, how long did that take? After the first doctor tasted it, I'd be like, I'm inventing the urine dipstick.
Yeah. They're calling you a cum smeller, Dr. Steve. I'm really sorry for that.
They
AIDS
shouldn't.
fucker, you know.
But you're
doesn't
eating his
understand.
cookies. That's the thing that's most disturbing.
Yeah.
Right.
If he's expressing fluid, you're eating his fucking cookies.
That's true.
If it comes out smelling rancid like pus, you can't help but smell
my
it. I mean, it's not like you put it up to your nose and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to make you smell cum next time you come to New York. You know that, right?
That sounds like a better bit than the other bit that I used.
Oh, you'd rather smell cum than stick fingers up a guy's ass?
That's a thing called sarcasm, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry, you got me on that
Because
one.
I'll fucking whip out a batch onto a slide.
No
for Steve to
problem.
smell as a joke.
That's right.
Because you're good like that, Jim.
Yeah, here you go, you silly goose.
Yeah, now smell this.
Take a whiff.
So,
Well, Dr. Steve, thank you so much for your generous Christmas gifts.
it was nice.
You're welcome.
And, yes.
Thank you guys for trashing me on the air and for letting me be on with the great Rob Bartlett. I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
Are you really?
Well, thank you, Dr. Steve.
Very cool.
I have a very different opinion.
Well, why
of
don't you ask Rob a question there, Dr. Steve?
Yeah, so, well, how are things going?
That's really insightful. That's
That's a good one.
That's really great. Thanks, Steve.
I'm a great interviewer.
Hey, Dr. Steve, our theory that like guys that look at assholes all day, a little bit on the homo side.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I tell you what, proctology is a really it's an easy surgical specialty, and a lot of the proctologists get mad at me, but it's very circumscribed, and you only have to handle a certain number of problems, and so a lot of people go into proctology because of that.
Okay.
I'm glad that people are interested in going in that, so that I wouldn't have, been in a situation where I would have had to be forced to do it. So I'm really glad that people are interested in doing proctology. It's just,
all right, what about,
how far up does a proctologist cover, and then it goes to like the other, intestinal doctor, whatever that is, gastroenterologist. Yeah,
proctologists will do rectum, sigmoid colon, that kind of thing.
So their whole job is what, 2-3 knuckles?
That's
about it.
About an inch and a half on a wiffle ball bat.
I would guess the same distance that a nice cock could get in there.
Oh, is that it?
If you listen to the questions on, say, my show, or the question, or the things that you all talk about, who doesn't have asshole problems? And so there's a lot of business for proctology
at some point in their lives,
and it affects your well-being.
Usually, our asshole problems involve going to a meeting over at Sirius.
Hey, gynecologists, what are they about?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. There are quite a few women in gynecology now, and most of the women that I know that go to women gynecologists say they're rougher than the men. And and that's a broad generalization. So all the women GYNs, I'm sure you have many that listen to the show. Don't get mad at me, but it's OB is a really satisfying thing because you're bringing new life into the world. And I delivered probably 250 babies in my training, and I kind of got a little weepy every time I did one.
I guess.
And
that's right.
You met up.
That's why you now sniff and cum.
Well, I'm just being honest. But the thing about it is that
that's good. The doctor's crying.
Right. Well, you're supposed to be cutting the umbilical cord, great.
Somebody have a Mo Howard haircut, Doc? What are you trying for?
This is so beautiful.
Well,
Can we get a doctor that's not a fruit? It's time to cut this thing. Stop crying.
Huh.
Sorry.
But then there's all of those moments, and then you've got these moments of absolute sheer unmitigated panic when something goes wrong, and so that's why I couldn't go into it. But people like it. It's a surgical field where you get to do things, and it's sort of self-limited. You've got a 9-month period where you see the patient, and then they're out of there.
So, and then you're kind of building up a little relationship. You want to see what this is like. I would think a moment of sheer panic. What happened?
I'm sorry?
It's being paid.
I would think a moment of sheer panic would be watching the husband and wife standing there, both white, and a black baby coming out. And you panicking, having to hold up the baby in front of the husband.
The opposite happens a lot, that little babies of African American descent don't have all of their melanin cells kicking in when they're first born. And so they come out looking extremely light very often. And we've had a couple of instances where the father wondered what had been going on, because where did this white baby come from? But then after a day or two, the melanin cells kick in, and everything's okay, and there's a happy ending.
After a day or two, God, gives his curse.
Jesus. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
Do you understand who's sitting here?
Allegedly.
Dodged the bullet.